Hi, my name is Tom Brewitt, and I am a couples therapist with a virtual practice in California and Colorado. And today I'm going to talk about one of the biggest myths that I hear all of the time shared in the gay community, that open relationships don't work. And so, putting aside for a moment whatever your personal beliefs are about open relationships, monogamous relationships, polyamory, wherever you fall on that spectrum, I think we shouldn't make blanket statements that certain relationship structures don't work, but it's rather that there are things that exist within a relationship that make that make it tricky. And whether you are in a monogamous relationship or you are in an open relationship, you're going to have some of the same struggles in terms of communication. So one of the really some of you may be familiar with Joe Court's work. He is a sex therapist and a couples therapist who works a lot with the gay community. And he says that even when he's working with monogamous couples, that he often talks with them about negotiating their monogamous relationship. How many couples negotiate their monogamous relationship? And what he's referring to there is, like, for some monogamous couples, when your partner watches porn, that causes some distress for you. For others, it's if your partner is flirting with somebody else. You have to really be able to talk about what are the differences that you have as an individual, unique couple, and that is what's going to the things I'm going to talk about in this video here, how to have some of these conversations, are useful whether we're talking about monogamy, non-monogamy, moving, having children, getting married, whatever the difficult, tough conversation may be. Hopefully some of these principles will be useful to you as you're having any of those conversations. It's so funny. A lot of couples will say, or a lot of people will say, "Oh, isn't an open relationship just one step before you break up?" And yes, it can be. It certainly can be, but it's not always the case. So one of my teachers, Ellen Bader, she talks a lot about differentiation. And what she means by differentiation is that even in any type of relationship, we are two different people with different wants, needs, desires, preferences, and oftentimes it's very difficult to talk about. So let's just continue to use the example of monogamy versus non-monogamy. It's very difficult if one member of a couple wants to be monogamous and one member of a couple wants to be non-monogamous. How do you talk about those differences in a way that doesn't just, a lot of couples will either try to have that conversation and it will turn into an all-out screaming fight where nobody is listening and respecting each other's different thoughts and feelings about that. Other couples will go in the opposite extreme and just not talk about it at all. If it's too tough and difficult of a conversation, they will just avoid it. And so what Ellen Bader is talking about in terms of differentiation is, how do we go inside, know what we want, feel, and desire, and share it with our partner, but also have the space to hear our partner and their different opinions and thoughts and needs and wants and desires, and not take it personally, not take their differences as a personal attack against ourselves. All right, so some examples of different types of open relationships that I have heard about. There's the couple that has been together for a really long time, and they make the choice to open their relationship without really talking too much about why. And yes, that can then be a step towards, that couple can be just trying to solve the problem of sexual difference in their relationship without actually talking about what's what are they both wanting or needing here. Then there's another type of open relationship when a couple will talk about it. They will negotiate what they want that to look like. So for some couples, it's, oh, we'll just bring in a third, and we both have to agree on that third, and that's one way to talk about it. Other open relationships or non-monogamous relationships will involve, you can do things when I'm out of town, or there's all different kinds. There's all different ways to structure the relationship. What I'm going to talk about now, what I'm going to give you some examples of, is how to have these tough, difficult conversations. So the first step is that you need to go inside yourself. And again, thinking about differentiation, going inside, what do you want, need, desire sexually from your partner that you're either getting or not getting, or wanting more of or wanting less of. And it's really important that the first step is going inside, because you can't really start the conversation until you know what you want or need from your partner. It's not really fair to go into the conversation without doing that first step of hard work yourself. Then I encourage couples to set aside a time to talk. Don't do this when you're out at a bar with a bunch of other friends. Obviously, you probably know that. Don't choose to have this difficult conversation when you are right before you go to bed. One thing I like to say is ask your partner. Say, hey, there's something difficult that may be difficult or tough that I want to talk to you about. When would be a good time for you? So, check in with them. Let them say, okay, actually, I'm really busy with work today, or, after work would be great, or, whatever. Let them consent to when they are ready to have a difficult conversation. And then, another thing I like to say is this is probably not going to be one conversation. When you decide to change your relationship structure, it's probably going to be a series of conversations. So just mentally prepare yourself that this is going to take time. You're not going to be able to say, most couples will not be able to say, hey, I want to open the relationship. Great, me too. Let's get on Grindr and find a third. There's going to be a series of conversations that will have to be had, to make both people feel safe. Another thing that I like to remind couples is that there could potentially be lots of different feelings that come up around this topic. Some people may be excited, some people may be scared, nervous, jealous, envious, whatever. So just make space for that feeling, all the feelings that can come up around this. And also get some support, talk to friends, find a therapist, make sure that you have the support in place to be able to start having these conversations together. And then the last thing I want to say about this is you can go slow. Again, this is going to probably be multiple conversations, so there's no need to get this all ironed out in a week or 2 weeks. Give yourself plenty of time. There is no rush. You've been together for a long time. Again, if there feels like there's pressure or it feels like there's some sort of urgency here, just be curious about what's going on there. Well, hopefully this was a helpful little video. Again, no advice or guidance here, but just as a community, how can we support each other? How can we be less judgmental about certain relationship structures? And how can we be more clear in terms of advocating for what we all want, need, and desire, and feel comfortable talking about that? That's my goal when I work with couples and individuals. All right, well, have a great rest of your day, and more soon. Bye.